Hi everybody, I hope that you guys are doing well. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. So a thought occurred to me, and I thought that I would bring it up because it was relevant to tarot. So sometimes in the readings we talk about having a collaboration with someone or working with someone new, and this can always relate to, like, say you have a job and you usually work with the same people. However, in the readings you've been watching, it's talking about you collaborating with someone new or working with someone new. Keep in mind that this can mean you end up going to a new doctor or a new practitioner, or even contract wise, spiritual contract wise. Like, you could be walking into a new coffee shop and start like seeing someone regularly, and you're bringing something into their life, and so that can be a collaboration. Like, anything that you're exchanging energy with is a collaboration. So always something to keep in mind, because in the readings, not everything is going to be literal. Not everything is going to be exactly as it appears initially. The way that I have seen tarot manifest, although it can be very literal sometimes, it can also extend onto other planes. And in my experience, it's kind of like, you know, in the movies when somebody is talking to a genie and wants a wish, and the genie gives them something different than they had said that they wanted, but it's because something got tied up with the language or the words, and the person's meant this, but they said this, and then something else manifests altogether. It can kind of be like that sometimes. Like, kind of tricky, also not what you may think that it's going to be initially. So again, always keep that in mind. And sometimes it is as you think it is, but then sometimes you're surprised. So without further ado, we will get into the reading. I am using a new deck, just trying it out here. Sorry, I'm looking for the name of this thing. Bear with me, friends. Lunasomnia Tarot Deck. Okay, we're starting off with the Eight of Swords, the King of Wands. What I'm getting from this is that there's a lot of mental energy happening. You may feel like your ideas are going in different directions. You may have, a lot going on as far as like ideas, inspirations. Maybe even you're talking to a lot of people. You could also feel like your energy or your attention is split in a lot of different directions as well. It's like you have to do this and then you have to go over there and do that. Like, it looks like a kind of busy energy to me, and a lot that you're in charge of, a lot that you're doing. But this isn't necessarily a bad thing, because I'm not seeing it be like bad. I'm not seeing it be like, oh, you're overwhelmed with all the stuff you're doing. It just seems like you have a lot that you're doing, a lot that you're responsible for taking charge of, or like things that you want to be working on. And maybe you're also trying to figure out, maybe you feel like you're spread a little bit thin right now, so this is about kind of focusing and prioritizing your energy. Or maybe you're just finding extra energy or working on finding extra energy to be able to participate in everything you want to participate in. I feel like this is a work in progress right now. Yeah, I am seeing the symbol for Mercury. Interesting. Maybe a lot that's being communicated. Mercury can represent communications, people in your close community, siblings, people that you live with, short distance travel. It feels like stuff that's touching your everyday life or like your immediate circle even, or activities. Something that you're working with. I'm looking at the Five of Wands transitioning into the Six of Wands. It feels almost like some type of challenge. This can even be a state where there's some type of like competition even going on. This can be even something exciting too. It feels like a fast-paced energy, or something's even picking up, and it seems like something that may have even felt like a challenge at a certain point in time ends up benefiting you because of the way that you participate. It looks like something turns in your favor even. It also seems like some type of challenging situation you had been in, it looks like it's lightening a little bit. Because I'm looking at, see how the Five of Wands, it looks kind of like a barricade or even like a wall or something. So you get to it and you're kind of like, how do I get through? Looking at the Six of Wands here, you see how it's being broken apart and it's going through this ascension. It seems like that, like this wall that had been there before is kind of lifting up. And you're able to move through in a more flowy energy too. So maybe more so moving with the rhythm of things. Like you may feel like you're more in harmony. I haven't seen all of these cards yet because I just got this deck, so we're kind of both seeing it at the same time, or all seeing it at the same time. So I'm looking at the Three of Cups and the Death card. For some of you, there could have been a challenge with a family member or somebody that you're close with, a friend even. Or people that you get together with. You could have, for some of you, recently participated in some type of gathering. You would be close with these people. Some type of celebration even. It looks like you recognize that you are tied to these people, although you do feel different. So connected, yet not the same, if that makes sense. I'm interested to know why the Death card is here. It kind of looks like there may be a change that's happening, like some type of evolution, even with the way that you assert yourself. You may have felt the need to, maybe you didn't see it as this before, but you may have been overcompensating in some type of way. It's like maybe you felt like in the past I'm seeing this be related to a group of people or like somebody that you spend time with. You may have not felt heard like within this group or among these people or with this person. And so you may have kind of taken on a more like emboldened approach even. And now I'm seeing something change with that. It's like maybe you would have gotten kind of like loud or needed to state your point or I don't know, even felt a type of way towards people, but I'm seeing it be more so like maybe you weren't taken seriously or perceived in the way that you wanted to be by these people, and so you felt like you didn't have a voice kind of, and so it may have come out in a more like fiery energy. But it seems like the way that you do things, although you're still like maintaining a heavy presence, it looks like there's like some type of evolution or development with how you take up this role. It seems like a maturation with the Death card below the King of Wands. Because the King of Wands shows up and wants to like be in charge of his situation, and like people look to the King of Wands to lead things out. And I'm seeing it be tied into a group of people, so it's like it feels to me like some type of position that's perfect for you that you may not have been developed enough yet to fit in the shoes of because of circumstances. And now there's a sense of like learning and growing and being able to develop yourself into like what you were meant to emerge as, like in the form that you are coming through now. And it all came about because of like some type of challenge or continuous challenges among this group of people or like within your association and your connection to those around you. How about that? So you may have been like more in a masculine energy before, which all of us have feminine and masculine. It's all about balancing, because once we get beyond duality, we see that everything is just on a sliding scale and it's all actually unified. And so what I'm seeing is that you may have felt, because of the situation you were in before, you may have felt more in a masculine energy because of feeling like you needed to assert yourself in that way. And now with the Queen of Wands showing up, it looks like the change you've made is still being able to maintain that type of energy. However, being able to infuse it with the feminine aspect of the wand suit, which is really cool because you are infusing the situation and like your character and your character development with a sense of autonomy, which is like a sense of independence, a sense of confidence. It's a sense of ease and knowing that you don't need to prove yourself to other people, which the King of Wands can feel like at times. The King of Wands can be, the way that I'm picking up the energy here, always specific to the reading that we're doing because we read intuitively here. The King of Wands I'm seeing could have felt, again, like we're just picking pronouns here, was not being heard or seen or perceived in the way that he wanted to be, and so may have come off like more aggressive or more blunt or more forceful, even in subtle ways. However, because the Queen of Wands is showing up now, and like the way that they're touching here in this spread, there's a sense of feeling okay if people don't want to follow your lead because you're still going to do it your way, and you don't need other people to be following you. You don't need other people to be agreeing with you. There's a sense of just like confidence and ease that I'm seeing surrounding, and it comes from a place of being challenged. This is not a passive energy that is just developing without there being like pitfalls and things that you need to move beyond and ways that you need to find yourself out of the maze. This is an energy that is a resilient energy. This is one that's been developed through experience and one that has risen above ultimately. One that has taken it upon themselves to do so too. So it seems like because of your personal progress, it's changed the way now that you interact with a person or a group of people that you connect with. Which is really beautiful because it doesn't necessarily seem, the Empress, it doesn't necessarily seem like this was done for the sake of being like, yeah, I'm just going to get to a point where I don't care at all. It's like you were challenging yourself and trying to do better. And because of this sense of working through a challenging situation, using the best of your abilities to develop yourself and to grow and to evolve into an empowered energy. And we're ending here this section of the spread with the divine feminine, which is the Empress. What's beautiful is that although with this group of people that I'm seeing this be very, very important. Although there are ties to this energy, and it may be like family of origin, it may be a friend group that you've had for a long time, again, family members, or just like people that you found yourself around, people that challenge you in some way. I'm seeing that this group of people, in their own ways, whether they have known it or not, have definitely been part of this evolution that you've gone through, which is really amazing, especially as we started speaking about karmic contracts and all of that in the beginning of this reading, and how when we work with people, it can be an animal that you're working with, it can be one of your friends that you're working with, that you're collaborating with, somebody on the street that's helping you to fulfill some type of mission that you have. Even if it's a 5-minute lesson that you're going through, you know, as we are all in Earth school right now, going through the challenges. So for the major arcanas, I'm looking at Scorpio and Venus. The Death card and the Empress. It looks also like this has been part of your self-development related to your self-care and your self-esteem and how you perceive yourself. What it feels like to me is that there's a sense of you knowing your power and not needing to push that onto other people. There's a sense of like being effortless within that and confident within it, regardless of how other people are acting or whether or not they agree with you, you know? It's like feeling unbothered by the things that are going on around you in that way, you know? By like dramatics and things like that, because your concern is yourself here. I really like this deck a lot. Ooh, and right after the Empress is the Emperor and the Star. That's beautiful. I just want to show the pictures to you guys. They're so interesting. I like how everything is inverted in these. I feel like you're getting comfortable finding your place, feeling more like yourself, feeling more comfortable getting things done and being in charge of things and not needing to constantly check with other people, trusting yourself, trusting the path you're on, not seeking validation so much from other people, more so being self-referential in that way. There's a sense of steady building through healing. I'm also hearing through exposure. Maybe experiences? Exposure. I feel like it looks like there's a lot that you're learning as well, related to even how the world works. It feels like philosophical questionings that are happening. Because I'm seeing stuff here about like science and astrology and geology, and about business, and about creativity and inspiration and intuition and energy work. All of these different things about nature, about movement, about growth. Also about abilities too, especially with the star here. It feels very much like developing into an authentic energy and doing so consistently and putting in the work to do that. And again, trusting yourself. The Aries energy feels very important in this. The Emperor is Aries, the star is Aquarius energy. Yeah, I feel like it looks like there's something really, really significant that you're getting to the point of learning. Even how I'm seeing this, so the way that I'm seeing the devil here is like things within your 3D, things that are things that lack a sense of spirituality. Even again, I'm reading intuitively, so this is what I'm seeing for the cards for this reading specifically. The devil is representing things that don't have the spiritual component to it, don't have an energetic component to it at first glance. Okay, so it's like social norms and following the rules and like arbitrarily listening to things, stuff like that. The stuff that gets you caught up, that takes away from the ether and the other things, the more energetic things. I'm seeing this card almost be a development. I'm looking at this kind of like the third eye, the fifth eye, the crown chakra. It looks very much like an eye. It looks like an iris. And it looks like you may have started off kind of seeing like smaller synchronicities, maybe things that you hadn't even consciously become aware of. It's like you go about your everyday life and there's a sense of possibly not even seeing an element of spirituality in things. And then as your eyes open wider, I'm seeing this kind of be like a crescendo, like a development through ascension. And as you get higher, you're encompassing more into your perspective. And there's a sense of getting to a point where it seems like you are very much able to see beyond something that if you had stayed in the energy that is the 3D, that is the Saturn energy with the devil, you wouldn't have been able to see these things outside and above. So to see the star, which is like the healing energy and it's like the visionary type of energy next to the devil, it feels very much like healing something that like I don't even know, maybe part of even the human condition. It's always interesting to try to take like visions and things that we see as we channel and try to transcribe that into words and articulate it. I feel like you're questioning why you're doing the things that you're doing, why other people are doing those things, but mostly what the point of what you're doing is. And if that's going to lead you towards the bigger goals that you're working through. It feels like an existential happening. But even beyond that, I feel like there's even a progression that's happening to get to a bigger point. There's a bigger picture that's developing, and maybe it's been there all along, but it's more so coming into focus now. Some bigger plan even. That until you get beyond the 3D, there's a sense of not being able to perceive this. It kind of looks like levels or even like tests that have to be passed, completed. It feels very esoteric. These cards are so cool. I'm hearing curiosity shop. I'm seeing somebody walking into a place that has all of these different, it's almost like walking into an art store or a toy store, and you see all of these different aisles and all of these different things that you can choose from. And I'm seeing this be like maybe focuses or activities that that you want to pay attention to, or that you want to participate in. I'm also hearing activate. I'm hearing activate strongly. And it feels like things that are innate to you, but may even be nascent abilities. But something that you're going to have an opportunity to explore. But this is about picking it. It feels very much like when you realize that you can do something that you've wanted to do, like that you have a talent for something that you want to explore. It looks like you can pick from many, many different things. It's just about cultivating it with the Emperor. And that doesn't mean that once you pick something in a particular direction, you can't also add another thing or hop to a different activity or interest that you want to. The world is your oyster, it looks like, very much. You can explore whatever you want to. There's a sense of imagination that's tied into this, and that you can focus and pursue anything that you choose to without having any type of limitation. The only limitation would be a limitation that you put on yourself. It feels like everything is possible. Anything that you want is obtainable. Maybe even things that in the past you hadn't believed in until your eyes were opened. I'm seeing a lot about stars. Like, I'm seeing a 4-point star. It's very interesting. Yeah, Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is very creative. Queen of Cups is magical, mystical, intuitive, an energy worker, a healer, an empath. I'm getting something about scrying. That would be within her realm of things she can do. At a certain point in time, you could have felt very much that your vulnerabilities, especially emotionally and intuitively, you may have perceived them as a weakness. Society may have encouraged you to see them as a weakness, that you were too sensitive, too vulnerable, too emotional, too hysterical, all of these things. And there's a sense of, through healing and having the opportunity to recognize and cultivate these skills, there's a sense of being able to explore all that they have to offer, but there's a sense of recognition and acceptance that's needed prior to being able to cultivate or develop or work on anything. So recognizing the things within yourself, and rather than pushing them away, to open your arms up to them and to welcome them. There's a notion here about getting more in touch with your body as well, being able to feel what you're feeling. You may also feel what other people are feeling as well. It seems like the more in touch with your body that you're getting, the more you're able to... Something about energy. I'm getting something about food too. Something specific about the type of food that you put into your body. And being able to feel different things because of that. Maybe you're also doing something with your diet, or this is something that you pay special attention to. It looks also like there are walls being broken down as well. The Ace of Swords. The truth of what you're working on. What I'm seeing is that before, when you looked out upon like the world in all of its expansiveness, there's a sense of feeling overwhelmed. It's almost like being in the dark and then it's sunny and you're kind of pushed out into the world and the sun feels too bright for your eyes. However, once your eyes adjust, once you calibrate, there's a sense of, instead of being overwhelmed, being able to breathe and take everything in. And it seems like in that moment, there is a challenge that's accepted related to what you're going to be doing, what you're going to be pursuing, and where that's going to lead you. The map is your intuition. And it's something that constantly is developing and growing as you get closer and closer, walking through the mission that you're pursuing. It seems too like there are a lot of different skills being cultivated, maybe more than you are able to consciously recognize right now, just because of how subtle some of them are. But it seems like so many different things are under development, and they're all leading to... They're all interrelated with one another. And there is a point to all of this, is what I'm hearing. Very interesting. So I'm looking at the Emperor, which is Aries. I'm looking at Aquarius. I'm looking at Capricorn here. For some of you, this can be related to career type things that you're pursuing. Can be activities that you're specializing in too. For some of you, company, I'm hearing foundation. Something that you're envisioning, something that you've dreamt about, something that you're choosing to pursue, regardless of the challenges, as they are just part of all of it. It looks like encouragement to continue developing, continue growing, continue on your way. And that there are many different options to be exploring. It feels like a very hopeful energy. And maybe some parts of you were feeling a little hopeless, which happens to all of us at times. But there's a sense of kind of opening your eyes again and seeing everything in all of its beauty and vastness. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.